National Championship Wrestling. I'm Tim Tyler along with Edgar Wallace. Coming up today, we have a match between Pistol Pez Wadley and Roy Bates. Apache Lou will be taking on Ricky Starr, Crusher Broomfield up against Cowboy Young. We'll be having a double edition of Inside ICW as we take a further look into our newly crowned TV champion, the Miser. Also, Edgar will be talking with Hustler Rip Rogers, who is recently back from a physique contest that was held in Athens, Tennessee, in which Hustler Rip Rogers and Randy Savage both came out near the top and brought home some trophies. And we have with us the Miser, who is our newly crowned television champion.
Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. How patient I have been. Everything comes to the person who waits. I was practically a professional standby for many, many, many weeks. And now I am the television heavyweight champion.
That you are, Miser.
My cup runneth over. And you know how long I'm going to keep this belt?
How long?
You know how long a millennium is? A millennium. You people out there, look it up.
1,000 years.
I am not going to touch
1,000 years is a millennium.
You both know?
A millennium is 1,000 years.
My cup runneth over. The television champion. Well, this is
a big price.
Look at the people applause.
A big price is paid for that belt, though. And of course, we don't know yet.
Of the new television champion.
Of course, this is referring to Ronnie Garvin, who was seriously injured in that match.
I can't worry about those consequential things that happen. All I know is that I was on top of the great deal. I had the belt. I now own the belt. I will keep it for a millennium.
Unfortunately, Ronnie Garvin is still seriously injured. We don't know the extent of his injuries yet.
That's right. Ronnie came in and caused some interference in that match, and the Miser came out on top and was declared the television champion. Also, I have late word here, Edgar, that George Weingroff is close to making up his mind as to what to do about the controversy with the television title belt that is currently being held up. We'll have final word on that later on in this program.
In this program, you'll find out how the question of who the U.S. Tag Team Champions will be resolved. And we'll be back right after this with more ICW.
Okay, we're back. As they're all sitting ready to go with our first match of the day, it's Pistol Pez Wadley up against Roy Bates. So let's go now to the ring and the introductions. Here's Edgar Wallace.
The second match is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit, and in the blue corner, 230 pounds from San Carlos, Indian. Oh, I'm going to the second match. I don't believe that. The first match is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit, and in the blue corner, 195 pounds from Harlan, Kentucky, it's Roy Bates. And in the red corner, at 235 pounds, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's, I'm going to do it for him today, Bad Pistol Pez Wadley.
Well, what about that, Edgar? As you did the introductions of Roy Bates, the crowd definitely applauded and then booed Pistol Pez Wadley. And Pez couldn't understand that. Pez, I guess, thought he was a favorite with the crowd or something.
He'd like to think that, because I'm so anxious to see that second match. But I guess I dropped down and started with the ring introductions on that, and Apache Lou will be wrestling. There's Watley working on Bates. Trying to get him up for a slam, and the slam is made.
Slammed him down.
And, of course, Tez Watley now is going to punish him. He's famous for that.
Of course, we saw Roy Bates last week as part of that six-man tag team match, which his team came out on the losing end of things.
He's in trouble now.
Tez saying he is in trouble now. Tez is always quite vocal when he is in the ring.
Quite vocal, indeed.
He talks as much as he wrestles.
He's quite an athlete, though. And, of course, he had a tremendous college career. Tremendous college career. He was twice champion Indiana and Tennessee State when he was in college. And, of course, it's all over. It's all over, and Pistol Tez Watley is being declared the victor.
Pistol Tez Watley, the official winner over Roy Bates. Here comes Tez. We know we can always have a word from him.
The victor again. As you can see, the man that comes home with the victory. I believe you gentlemen here have something to say to me about the destruction of people.
Ronnie Garvin, you were speaking of in the match that took place last week, which the Miser came out on top of, right? Let's take a look at that tape.
Well, all right, then.
And Tez Watley, you know, it was really the fact that you
What?
Ronnie down.
There wasn't nothing said when he coming down on me.
So here we go, Tez.
You can see right now that the great one, the great Tio, supposed to be the television champion, got the Miser down and out. He can't even do that. You can see I'm rejoicing with victory.
Ronnie Garvin. What is going on? Look at that, Edgar.
My gracious, now he's taking out Tez Watley and the great Tio. And the great Tio.
What is the crowd's on its feet now? Tez Watley's suitcase into the floor. Ronnie Garvin now working on Tio.
No disqualification match.
Anything's going.
Disqualification match, of course, is permissible for Ronnie Garvin to be in there.
Ronnie Garvin on the top rope in his street clothes. A knee down to the throat of the great Tio. Pistol Tez Watley has recovered. Ronnie Garvin with his boots in hand taking the Pistol Tez Watley's head.
It can happen. It's happened. It has.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Dale Edwards has declared the Miser the winner. The great Tio land on the floor bloody.
Ronnie Garvin still over in the corner working on Pistol Tez Watley has his hand. Came flying out of his suitcase. Now this confused Miser away from the great Tio thanks to the help of Ronnie Garvin. Profusely about to forward. The Miser still doesn't know what has happened to him yet. He has the belt in his hand.
The belt, he has the title, and doesn't know it.
Look at this in the corner, Edgar. Ronnie Garvin has Pistol Tez Watley's shirt about his neck now, still working on him. Here comes the Miser limping over here. Here comes the Miser with the TV bell. Ring the bell again. Here comes the great Tio back. He has something in his hand, Edgar. Looks like a lead pipe of sorts. Across the back of Ronnie Garvin with that pipe.
The great Tio still bleeding profusely. Hasn't done
There goes the referee.
He's been knocked out.
And there are all sorts of clothes and boots in the ring. Another blow to the back of the
emptied in the ring.
Ronnie Garvin with that pipe. Pistol Tez Watley has Ronnie Garvin down, holding him to the mat while the great Tio works on the back of Ronnie Garvin with that.
Do something. The referee is out. Ronnie Garvin is on the floor, on the mat, and now they're working. They're
choking Ronnie Garvin with that pipe. Pistol Tez Watley still has Garvin down.
Now, there's more blood on Garvin, but I think that's
yes, there is.
Great Tio's blood because he's bleeding profusely.
Referee Dale Edwards is still unconscious on the side of the ring.
This has been some day. Has been some day.
This has got to come to a halt here. Edgar Ronnie Garvin is on the verge of getting seriously injured.
And Great Tio Holland beaten to death. Fans are upset.
The fans are upset with this. No one is coming to the aid of Ronnie Garvin. I was looking toward the dressing room area, thinking maybe someone like Leaping Lanny or maybe even George Weingoff would come out and break this
I
up.
thought that George would be monitoring this match, considering that it was a match that occurred strictly by his...
Here comes George. Here comes George.
And Crusher Broomfield.
And Crusher
And
Broomfield.
Leaping Lanny. All entering the ring. Of course, Tez Rodney has the title.
There's a blow to the neck there of Leaping Lanny with that lead pipe that Pistol Press Wally now has in his hand. And, the great T.O. originally brought in, that pipe definitely was metal and dropped to the floor. We heard it make a clanging noise.
Pistol Tez Wadley and...
You heard it there.
Irate.
The great T.O. became victorious and took the television championship.
Jim Title, Edgar Wallace, all you wrestling fans out there, I want you to say now, Ronnie One-Man Gang Garvin, I don't think you can handle it now, baby. I don't think you're a one-man gang now, baby. And I want you to understand one thing, that the pain and the stigma of embarrassment rides deep in my bones, Ronnie Garvin. And therefore, Jack, when the great Theo or myself face you in that ring, I want you to understand that's right, close up on this face because I mean business. Close up on this face because I want to talk to somebody. Close up on this face because I want them to know that Ronnie Garvin, when you step into the square circle with the great Theo or the bad one, that it is war, baby. It ain't no picnic. It ain't no playing. It is war. And one other thing, Ronnie Garvin, I'll say this with a calm voice, and I'll leave here with everybody. Pipe dreams, Ronnie Garvin. Pipe dreams.
Pistol Tez Watley leaving rather calmly, he said.
Leaving rather calmly after he had his temper tantrum.
Okay,
And
of
of course,
when we come back, it's going to be Apache Lou up against Rick Starr. So let's take a break right now, okay?
very good. Let's do that.
To talk to the miser, the man with the dollar sign on his back. They advertise calendars, ICW calendars. When I have so much to say to the people, if you people only know who I was, who I am, if you only knew. But some of you probably do, because if this mask ever came off, you don't know who I would be. You don't know who I would be. And I can't brag about that, because I'm in seclusion. You talk about calendars, ICW calendars for $2? You're talking about $2 when I'm thinking of thousands of dollars, when I'm thinking of millions of dollars, when I'm only interested in what the miser puts in his pocket, what the miser brings to the bank, and what the miser makes in dividends from all this capital that's in the bank. Better rich and dead than poor and alive. That's one of my mottos. That's one of my very best mottos. The miser is here. The miser will always be here forevermore.
If you've waited until now to replace...
But that doesn't matter. What matters is that Theo must pay. Theo must pay for what he did this Jerry Eagle. And I challenge Theo to any type of match. Where I come from, we warriors, we wrestle, we fight. But I want him with a strap around my wrist. 12 feet long strap, rawhide strap. Then both of us will fight it out. It will be my Indian deathlock against his Cobra. I have never lost in a rawhide match. You people have never seen a rawhide match. This is the way we fight out there in the Indian reservation. Man must prove himself. Eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You fight and fire with fire. I am ready. I will come into the ring. Ready for anything. Deal. You must pay. You must pay. Wait!
goes Apache Lou with the Indian war dance right here on the desk, Edgar.
And, of course, he has right now. Ricky Starr today, 1/3 of the convertible blondes. And there was some match there, quite some match. And, of course, the great Tio may well have done some paying last week when he lost the TV title.
He did.
Thanks to the assistance from Ronnie One-Man Gang Garvin. And, unfortunately, Ronnie was injured seriously in that. And Peg Whiteley and Tio really put a whipping on Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah, he did. We wanted to bring across here, though, is the damage that the great Tio has really been wheeling and dealing everyone that takes him on.
And then he's been declared the winner. He's been declared the winner already, and he's still kicking Jerry Eagle.
I'm sure that just because the television championship has been taken away from the great Tio, that's certainly not the last of him. We will hear from him
We
again.
will hear from, there's absolutely no question.
Any further words here, Apache Lou?
He will pay. I am not afraid of any man. You see this finger? I wrestle a 550-pound bear. He bite finger. But then I turn savage. I am a savage. Tio, when I step into the ring with you, I will be Apache Lou Savage.
Let's go to the ring.
Let's go to the ring, Edgar, for this match between Apache Lou and Rick Starr.
And I'm wondering what would happen if the great Tio were in there today, because he's obviously very upset.
Yes, he is.
The second match is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit. In the blue corner, actually he's not in the corner, he's doing the war dance in the middle of the ring. 230 pounds from the San Carlos Indian Reservation, it's Apache Lou. And in the red corner, at 220 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, one of the 3 convertible blondes, Ricky Starr. And today he's managed by the broken-nosed Gary Royal.
Gary Royal
wants us to say that they're the uncrowned champions, U.S. Tag Team champions, but I don't choose to say that at this time.
As we noticed, Edgar, a bit of difference in the appearance of Gary Royal this week has removed the face mask, the protective mask he has been wearing to guard against any further collisions on the nose.
The mask that was used in that controversial match.
Yes, it was. Leaping Lanning was the one that originally dealt him the broken nose.
Right. Right indeed.
Here comes Apache Lou, one of those confusing moves he used to make.
Wow, and
Ricky Starr confused Ricky Starr.
Apache Lou is ready to fight today.
Yes, he is.
And Ricky Starr wants no more of Apache Lou today. He's
Ricky Starr out of the ring. Conferring with his manager, Gary Royal.
Of course, referee Dale Edwards is counting. Ricky comes back in the ring. Ricky Starr, 220 pounds. He's only outweighed by about 10 pounds by Apache Lou. Apache Lou is ready to fight.
Apache Lou shows that index finger on his right hand that the bear bit off. That's a very interesting story.
And, of course, Ricky Starr using the rope to try to get the break. And in fact did, but Apache Lou jerked him off the rope just in time.
Gary Royal acting...
Screaming instructions to referee.
Yes, he is.
He says that Apache Lou is using illegal shots. Apache Lou is simply wrestling, doing great wrestling today.
Yes, he is. Of course, Apache Lou still on the trail of Randy Savage for that world title belt.
He is indeed, and of course he's challenged the great Tio and says that he's angry, but now the great Tio has nothing for him to challenge him.
That's right.
He is no longer the champion, the miser, and is now the television champion.
We'll remind the wrestling fans out there that we will continue to check upon the condition of Ronnie Garvin, and we'll let you know just as soon as we do how Ronnie Garvin is coming out after those injuries he received last week. That lead pipe.
And Apache Lou is knocked out of the ring by Ricky Starr. And of course now Ricky is working on the back, kicking him right in the back. Apache Lou is on the floor here beside the desk. He is obviously in some trouble. And Ricky Starr victoriously standing in the ring. And, of course, the fans obviously are for Apache Lou. They're doing the war dance for him since he's obviously not in shape to do it for himself at this time.
He's still not back in the ring yet. Out he goes into the floor.
Referee Dale Edwards counting.
Uh-oh, Lou is getting himself charged up.
When he hears the drums, and the fans are beating the drums.
He came back in a big way here.
He's back in and ready to fight.
Tomahawk chop there to the neck. Knee to the neck. Lou still dancing around, circling the ring.
The fans started his war dance for him, and as soon as he heard the war dance, he seemed to have revived. And 1/3 of the convertible blonde is in trouble. 1/3 of the convertible blonde is clearly in trouble. Apache Lou doing the war dance around him.
Working on that same leg again. Rick Starr could be in some trouble here.
Apache, he's doing it again.
Gary Royal is worried.
That's that Indian deathlock that that Indian deathlock. The Indian deathlock.
There goes Gary Royal.
Royal across the rope. Gary Royal across the rope. And it's over.
Here comes Hustler Rip Rogers out of nowhere.
The Indian deathlock did it for Apache Lou. He's clearly the victor. But now he's having to take on all 3 of the convertible blondes.
Hustler Rip Rogers came out of nowhere in his street clothes.
And Gary Royal. And here comes Ricky Starr and
George Randolph. They've cleared the ring.
The Indian deathlock caused the victory for Apache Lou. And the winner of that match is Apache Lou. But before it was over, he had to take on all 3 of the convertible blondes.
So George Weingoff and Ricky Zarda had to come in to clear things up. They cleared the blondes out of the ring. So now Lou doesn't seem wanting to come out of the ring yet.
I think Lou is ready to fight some more. And once all he has to do is to hear those drums and hear the sound of his Indian war dance, and he is indeed ready to fight again.
Okay, when we come back, it's a match against Crusher Broomfield and Cowboy Young. But before we see that match, we'll also be taking a look at a videotape of a recent match. We'll have more on International Championship Wrestling after we take this break.
It's in the air, man. You can almost see it. But you can't. You can't see it because it's not visible, man. You gotta believe it. And if you truly believe it, man, it just might happen. Because it's going to happen anyway. You might as well realize it. And all you people there, man, gazing at the monitor, baby, yeah. And all you ladies and chicks out there that would love to catch a bead of sweat off my body and let it run down your face and down your shoulders and down and down and down and down, yeah. Springfield, Illinois! Something great's gonna happen. For once in your lives, you're gonna get a chance to look at the Macho Man, Randy Savage, the world champion, the ICW World Heavyweight Champion, yeah. The one with the great body, yeah. The one that's 6'2", 235 from Sarasota, Florida. And this Macho Man ain't with me today, yeah. You know why? Because I didn't want her to be. On any particular day or any particular night, I just might kick her real hard and suplex her. And then she won't be able to be on the TV. Because the star is the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Dig it? Wait a minute.
We get to our scheduled match of Crusher Broomfield and Cowboy Young. We have with us at the desk Ricky Zarda. Rick, we have a tape of a recent match that took place between yourself and Rick Starr. We want your comments on this tape.
That match last week, the last match just before the break with Ricky Starr was quite a match with Apache Lou. But now we're going to see how indeed you handle Ricky Starr.
Here's that match right here.
All right, yeah, here I am. I'm feeling like here off the line. And Ricky Starr, you know, he's a tough opponent. There's no doubt about it. Especially, you know, when you have to look over your shoulder all the time, constantly looking for the other 2. You know they're around there somewhere. Here we go. He throws me into the corner. You know, I hit pretty hard, and then I moved. It was a quick move, and I think he's on the floor now. I'm just getting back on my feet, getting it together.
You know, Ricky, when you first came into the ICW, I want to talk about this as we view the tape, and you talk about that. But I also want you to talk about the fact that when you first came into the ICW, you were touted to be a real challenger and a potential belt holder for the World Championship.
Here's a big slam I'm putting on him. You know, I almost broke the man's back, throwing him into the ropes. He kicked me right there. See, one fatal mistake like that can cause you a match. Very simple. You know, I've come here and I was in quite a slump there for about 4 or 5 weeks, you know, and hurt my leg. I guess y'all know that, you know.
Mr. Bez Wally, of course, because you injured your ankle.
Exactly, you know,
How is it now?
Strained it, you know, and then he took advantage of it like a shark, you know. Just about broke it, you know. It was really bad for a while. Now I'm in 100% shape, and I feel great, and now I just got to get it together and win a lot more matches. That way I get some title shots. You know, that's what I want, some title
That's what I was
shots.
saying
You know?
as we viewed that film, that when you first came into the ICW, you were touted to be a top contender for the world title shot.
Exactly. Like I said, I was in a slump. You know, I'm out of that slump now. I'm in 100% shape, and I feel great. And that's all I got to do is put my matches together and win a lot more, and then they'll give me a title shot.
In fact, I wondered as we recorded the Inside ICW program that you'll see later in this program today, when in the physical fitness contest, I wondered why Ricky had not entered that competition, because that's obvious that
he's definitely known for his muscles.
Yeah, well, you know, I was going to enter, but like I said, I hurt my ankle, you know, and that you cannot train, you know. You can wrestle with a bad ankle, you know. It's very hard to do, you know.
In last week's program, when you teamed up with Crusher Broomfield and George Weingroff, Lanny was at the desk here. We said that we had mass and we had muscle and we had it all. Let's go to the ring now, though. We've got great wrestling action
Third
coming
match
up.
of the day is all set ready. Thank you, Rick. Okay, to the ring now. Our third match of the day is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit. Introducing in the blue corner, weighing in at 454 pounds from Spartanburg, South Carolina, Crusher Broomfield. And Crusher's opponent today in the red corner, 221 pounds from Santa Fe, New Mexico, Cowboy Young. And Dale Edwards is our official referee today. There is the bell. And the match is underway between Crusher Broomfield and Cowboy Young. Edgar, Cowboy Young is definitely outweighed in this match.
Outweighed by the little quick math here, 233 pounds. And you can see,
like having two men again.
you can see the difference in that ring. Of course, you've got to give Cowboy Young credit.
To step into the ring with Crusher Broomfield is quite a feat.
Crusher a clean break. The fans like that. Oh, and arms at the back of the neck of Cowboy Young by the Crusher. And he's going to wrap him in the rope.
Crusher likes to growl a lot when he gets someone back into the corner.
He does indeed. Of course, we could hear the referee tell Crusher to pull the man out of the ropes, and he did just that. Pulled him off the rope and threw him into the other corner. But Cowboy Young was trying to take Crusher's head to the turnbuckle and couldn't even move him.
Last week we saw Cowboy Young take some punishment from Apache Lou in a match.
Cowboy Young can give that one up in a recent match that I saw with Ernie Ladd. And of course, Ernie, more equally sized with Crusher, he could not take Crusher's head into the turnbuckle. Crusher is really putting a beating on Cowboy Young at the time. And now, for a slam, Crusher's going to use that big leg. He's famous.
There it is.
And of course, the entire ring bounced when Crusher bounced on Cowboy Young's chest that time.
454 pounds across the neck of Cowboy Young. Here comes
The pile
driver.
And this match will be over as soon as the 3 count is done.
That is it. Crusher Broomfield victorious over Cowboy Young.
Over Cowboy Young. And of course, Cowboy Young is still laying there in the ring and completely out of it. Completely out of it. Crusher Broomfield in a tremendous victory over Cowboy Young. We'll be back with more great international championship wrestling after this break. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Inside ICW. With me today is Leaping Lanny, and we're going to talk about that, I think, brutal attack that Ronnie Garvin suffered yet last week at the hands of the great T.O. and Pistol Pez Watley. Recently, however, Tim Tyler had an opportunity to talk with Ronnie by phone. Everybody's been asking, how is Ronnie, what's his condition? Let's listen to that conversation between Tim and Ronnie, and maybe we can get a better idea how he's doing.
Well, Tim, it's kind of a surprise getting a phone call from you. I hope everything's all right with you. I talked to Weingroff and George Weingroff, and I told him that I wouldn't be able to make it to the TV station because I'm at home and I'm sort of recuperating from the incident that happened last week, and I'm going to explain later on what happened as I was delayed at the station last week for the TV title match I had with Teal, and Pez Watley and Teal were involved in me being late. But
That was unlike you, though.
exactly what happened some other time.
That was unlike you, Ronnie, not to show up, though. We were really concerned that you didn't show up for that match, and he did later appear, of course.
Well, it worked for them. It worked. I was late, and whatever their little plan, it sure worked. And when I walked in there, I walked into a trap because I think they set me up. They were ready with a lead pipe, and they worked me over pretty good. But like I say, I'm still walking, I'm standing, and I'm not down.
I'm sure the fans will be glad to hear that, because at the end of the match, you were definitely in pain. You were helped from the ring by George Weingroff and Leaping Lanny, so the fans were definitely concerned about your well-being.
Well, I went and got some x-rays to make sure there was no broken bones and a few bruises, but I got some heavy commitments coming up, the defense title, and like I say, I'm up and I'm still fighting.
That's good to know, Ronnie. That's very good to know. Anything else you'd like to say while we have the time here?
I'll be back in the studio in a week or so.
Okay, then. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
I'm sure you're as relieved as I was there to hear that Ronnie is not as seriously injured as it really looked like he was when he left the studio last week, because I recall that when he was getting out of the ring, he really couldn't stand for Crusher Broomfield and George Weingroff to touch him, to help him out of the ring. Lanny, what do you think about that?
Well, Ronnie Garvin's famous for exposing everybody, and I guess it's my turn right now, because I happen to know that everything Ronnie Garvin said on that telephone conversation is a lie. Because the man claims that he's just, don't worry about me, I'll get over it and all that. But I'll tell you something, I know better. Because I have been in the dressing with him. This man is very seriously injured. I tried to save Ronnie Garvin. I got hit by Pistol Pez Watley with a lead pipe in my left shoulder, and for 2 days I couldn't lift a 5-pound dumbbell. And I'm telling you what, Ronnie Garvin, well, I tell you what, he's trying to be tough, he's trying to wrestle. I took a picture of him when his back was turned, and let me tell you, it was easy to do because he can't even lace up his boots. Yet he's trying to get ready to wrestle. He wears a support. There's the picture right now. And as you can see, the man has subdermal hematoma. What that means is subdermal means below the skin. Hematoma means bleeding. He's bleeding below the skin. He has to wear support in order to... Now look, he's trying to lace up his shoes. Now that's a job that does not take that long. And this man can't even bend over. And I had to watch him suffer. And I said, Ronnie, can I please help you? And he says, well, he just didn't want anybody's help. He did not want to miss any wrestling matches. He's walking around like the pain didn't even exist. Now you see a picture, and the picture I took right before him, in spite of, his negative attitude toward me taking pictures of him. But when have you seen Ronnie Garvin wear a Tarzan top in the ring? He's never done that in all the time he's been wrestling. And I'm telling you right now, he's trying to fool the people into thinking that he's really not hurt, because that phone conversation, hey, this man can hardly stand up. Look at him all bent over like that. The man's obviously in a great deal of pain. He's using a brace to support his ribs. And I'd like to say one thing right now. This is not my idea of professional wrestling. Pistol Pez Watley, the great heel, either a suspension or a fine should be put in. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a nonviolent man. I don't try to hurt anybody. I try to win my matches, and I think I do a pretty good job of it. But I'll tell you what, guys like this, they need to get out of the ICW, and I intend to do something about it. Like I say, I hurt my left arm, but I'm going to make sure that somebody pays for this.
In Japan. With Inside International Championship Wrestling, Edgar, we have just received word from wrestler promoter George Weingroff about the fate of the U.S. Tag Team Championship belts, and that word is that a tag team tournament will be held to determine who will hold the U.S. Tag Team Championship belts.
Seconds ago. In fact, you'll see that the two of the convertible blondes are in the ring. They didn't know.
No, they didn't.
We just got the word, and George Weingroff has announced that there will be a tournament to decide the fate of the U.S. Tag Team Championship.
And we'll have those a little bit more details for you later on next week. Right now, let's go to a pre-recorded Inside International Championship Wrestling as we talked to Hustler Rip Rogers about a recent physique tournament that was held in Tennessee.
Wrestling fans, welcome to a very special Inside ICW. With me is Hustler Rip Rogers, one part of the convertible blondes, 1/3, depending on which way they're wrestling, whether it's Gary Royal or Ricky Starr in the ring. But we're not going to talk much about ICW wrestling today, other than the fact that, of course, Hustler Rip and the Convertible Blondes are upset that George Weingroff is holding up the belts on the U.S. Tag Team Championship. And, of course, they feel that they're the justifiable title holders, and, of course, George and Lanny feel that they are. But George is holding up those belts, according to Rip, and I'm sure he wants to talk about that.
That's right. Promoter George Weingroff is holding up the United States Tag Team Championship belts after the Convertible Blondes, Hustler Rip Rogers, Jerry Royal, and Ricky Starr soundly defeated them in the middle of the ring with a match that had 2 referees. A special match that we asked for, we received. We beat George Weingroff's team, Leaping Lanny and George Weingroff, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and we were not awarded the United States Tag Team Championship belts. It's an injustice. It's a disgrace to professional wrestling, and I'm lodging my complaint right now.
Well, the complaint is lodged, and, of course, Rip is upset about that. But you see these gorgeous trophies here, and we have something really more pleasant to talk about. I don't know whether you can tighten up on the trophies or not, but they are the result of the Volunteer Classic, which was held November 14th, 1981 in Athens, Tennessee, and that's a physique contest. And, of course, Rip Rogers participated, as well as Randy Macho Man Savage. I'm sure it makes the ICW very, very proud indeed to know that they've got athletes that are excellent in other sports other than professional wrestling. And, of course, third place, Rip won in the open competition, and Randy Savage came in second in the open competition. And, of course, in addition to that, Randy was judged the most muscular and had the best arms. But, of course, you know how he brags about his 21-inch arms, and he's quite proud of them. Rip, tell us about the competition there.
Well, there's no need to brag right here because we competed. Like everybody in ICW, we compete. And although I didn't win, I got third place, and Randy didn't win, he got second place. The trophies are right here. We did our thing, we competed, and we were awarded trophies. In the ring, the Convertible Blondes defeated George Weingroff and Leaping Lanny. We should receive the belts. We got no belts. They're being held up. As far as the physique contest, I competed, Randy competed. We didn't win, we did our best, but we received trophies, whereas the Convertible Blondes should receive belts because we beat Leaping Lanny and George Weingroff.
Well, tell me about the most muscular trophy that Randy got. Which of these trophies is the most muscular?
It's the smallest trophy right here. It's the trophy that Randy won. Judges him the most muscular man in the 8-state open competition.
8 states competed there.
Yes, eight states. And the winner to this receives a free ticket to the 1982 Mr. America. But let's get back on the subject of competition. Now, I'm not saying there's great athletes, there's not great athletes in the ICW, because there certainly is. Pistol Pez Watley, All-American wrestler, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Almost a living legend, a man who could bench press 435 pounds. 3-time state champion at Tennessee from Notre Dame High School. That's a great athlete. George Weingroff, promoter. One thing I'll give you, George Weingroff, you were on the 1976 Olympic team representing our United States in the Blind Olympics. I'll give you credit for that. And I'll give you credit for being a great amateur at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I will also give you credit for being a great former United States Tag Team Champion. But I will not give you credit for your sour grapes of holding up those belts because the Convertible Blondes defeated you 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring.
That question hopefully will be resolved one day real soon, and we'll see who the real U.S. Tag Team Champions are. But right now, we want to give all credit to Hustler Rip Rogers and to Randy Macho Man Savage for these marvelous trophies that they went to Athens, Tennessee, and brought back by having marvelous physical conditioning. Right now, for Inside ICW, I'm Edgar Wallace. And we're back with live here in the studios. Of course, that segment was pre-recorded, as the camera told you and your sets told you as we looked at it. It was pre-recorded last week before we knew that George Weingroff had made the decision to put the ICW belts up in a tournament. Now, I've not talked about this with Tim, but it's my personal view that is the fairest of all possible ways to do it.
George had a hard decision to make because it affected him 2 ways.
It affected him 2 ways, but, you know, the Convertible Blondes in the first match knocked the referee out, and they said they wanted 2 referees. George gave them the 2 referees. They had the 2 referees, and then there were some discrepancies in that match, so he held the belts up, and now he's going to let the decision be made by a tournament. I think it's an excellent way to do it.
Okay, let's get down to our 4th match of the day. Let's go to the ring for the introductions. We have introducing, first of all, in the blue corner, weighing in at 207 pounds from Morristown, Tennessee, Rocky Armstrong. And his opponent in the red corner, 222 pounds from Hollywood, California, 1/3 of the Convertible Blondes, Hustler Rip Rogers.
1/3 of the Convertible Blondes that are not the champions.
There's
The champions will
Bell.
be decided in that tournament that George Weingroff has
Match
said
is
to be there.
underway.
Of course, Gary Roll's going to come and join us at the desk, and I'm
Gary,
sure that
just
he'll
heard
want
the
to
news
talk a
as we
lot
did
more
about
about
this.
the tournament than he want to talk about the match.
Yeah, I just heard the news, and I think it's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of. The convertible blinds defeated George Weingroff and Lethal Lanny in the middle of the ring, and now, because George Weingroff's got so much pull in the ICW, he's going to put the belts up for a tournament. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. The convertible blinds ought to be U.S. Tag Team Champions. Nobody else. So we're going to have to go through 10 or 12, maybe 15 more teams. And you know what kind of pain that you have?
That's the fairest of all possible ways, Gary Royal.
Ridiculous.
If you want to be the U.S. Tag Team Champions, then you should have to fight other teams other than just the champions. And,
Defeated the champions, and that's the
and
right.
George Weingroff and Lethal Lanny will have to compete just as you all will have to compete.
Well, I'll tell you
And
what
it's
about
got to be the fairest of all possible
I
ways.
understand Lethal Lanny had a little accident. He got hit with a lead pipe last week, if I'm not mistaken.
That was not an accident. It was an absolute...
Well, I tell you, the lead pipe and the shoulder, it can't be feeling too good. So whenever we have a tournament, Lethal Lanny's not going to be at his best. You understand?
Gary Royal referring to the lead pipe that Mr. Pez Wally had in his hand and took across the back of Lanny's neck.
And of course, Ronnie One-Man Gang Garvin, of course, was injured in that same melee that went down right here on television last week.
Well, him and Lethal Lanny both, they deserve to get hurt, man. Ronnie Garvin comes walking in the studio, sticks his nose in people's business where it don't belong. Lethal Lanny does the same thing and get hurt.
When Ronnie Garvin gets back after his injuries, he's recouped, then we can find out why he was late. I want to raise that question to him myself. We really ought to be talking about this match between Rip Rogers and Rocky Armstrong.
The match so far between Rocky Armstrong and Rip Rogers.
Totally dominating his opponent.
Well, he's putting some punishment on Rocky Armstrong. There's no two ways about it.
He's
But
mad.
if the Convertible Blondes are to be the U.S. Tag Team Champions, as you would like them to be, then
As we are.
as you would like them to be, the tournament will decide who will...
Not knowing the details of this tournament, though, we don't know how many teams could possibly be involved, but also Lethal Lanny and George Weingroff would have to participate in the tournament themselves.
I think the
They
lights
get
just
the
went out.
What I
The
saw
lights
the great
just went out for
T.O.
Rocky
do-
Armstrong.
What I saw the great T.O. do, it suits a lot of people. There's going to be some people, Apache Lou, Rick Starr, Lethal Lanny, your heads are going to start
Hustle Rip
rolling.
Rogers.
What's this business about?
A tournament.
What's this business about a tournament?
Tournament.
For the belt. And have the tournament. It's ridiculous. Because George Weingroff's doing as the ICW promoter because he's got star rates, because he can't accept the fact that we beat him. Weingroff, Lanny, Chief Tattoo, Apache Lou, Darda, heads are going to roll. Everybody's heads are going to
Heads are going to roll.
We're gonna take
Heads are going to roll. The Convertible Blondes like to cry star grapes. I think George has made a good decision. You fans at home, we'd like to see your letters and opinions on whether or not it is a good decision. I think it is. And we're back with more ICW wrestling right after this. Hours and hours away. But people in Springfield, Illinois, have been getting a lot of fan mail here from girls all over Illinois, from towns like Mattoon, Lincoln, Champaign, Urbana, Springfield, Jacksonville, Danville, Peoria, all over Illinois, wanting Hustler Rip Rogers to come to your town. Well, Hustler Rip Rogers will come to your town, eventually. The Convertible Blondes will come to your town, eventually. Great ICW stars like the Miser, the ICW World Champion, Randy Macho Man Savage, will be there. We'll all be coming to Springfield, Champaign, Urbana, all over the middle part of Illinois. You also get to see such ICW stars as the Great One, the Great T.O., the Bad One, Pistol Pez Watley, and even Leaping Lanny, George Weingroff, the One-Man Gang, Ronnie Garvin, but the person that everybody wants to see, the person that all the girls are lining up to see, me, Hustler Rip Rogers and the Convertible Blondes. We will be coming to Central Illinois very, very soon. So promoters in in the middle of Illinois, save up your money. Get enough money, because the Convertible Blondes are expensive. We're not no Ricky's Drinks organization. It takes money to bring the Convertible Blondes in, and money is what's going to bring the Convertible Blondes and Rip Rogers to...
The doctor is in.
In the time we have remaining here on International Championship Wrestling, we want to talk about that controversial television title match that took place last week between the Miser and the Great T.O., where Ronnie Garvin came in out of nowhere. Pistol Pez Watley came in and The great T.O. had a lead pipe and dealt some injuries to Ronnie Garvin. Sitting with me is Crusher Broomfield. Let's take a look at a portion of last week's TV title match that was officially between the Miser and the great T.O. And Crusher, you were involved in this somewhat. Let's have your feelings on this.
You see right there, the great T.O. come in with a steel pipe. You realize how much fear they must have for the one-man gang to come and jump in with a steel pipe. It's 2-on-1. The referee's been knocked down. They're continuing to beat him across the back of the back and lower ribs with a steel pipe. These must be some kind of animals. It takes animals to do this. There you see Pez Watley holding him down while T.O. continues to beat him with a pipe. Animals. I tell you, I don't even know what to say about it. I've never seen anything like this. This is unreal. I've never seen anything in my entire life like this. Choking him, hitting him with the pipe. God, it's unreal.
Ronnie being the quiet man he is, though, we haven't heard a thing from Ronnie concerning these injuries. And Crusher, as everyone knows, recently you have become very close to Ronnie Garvin. Have you heard anything from Ronnie as yet?
Well, no, I haven't. You know, Ronnie, hey, he's a proud man. He won't tell anybody his condition. But I guarantee you one thing, he's a fighter, and he will be back. I don't know how serious the injury is or how long it'll take him to come back, but he will be back. And I wouldn't want to be in great T.O. and Pez Watley's shoes. I guarantee you that.
When you first came into the ring and saw that Ronnie was being dealt this kind of punishment, what were your first thoughts when you and Lanny and George Weingroff came in to give some aid to Ronnie?
Hey, it was unreal. I mean, I saw Ronnie laying there. Ronnie's done a lot for me, you know. He got me out of the contract, $25,000, and I tell you, man, I'll do anything for Ronnie. Ronnie will be back. You're talking about pipe dreams, my friend. You're going to have nightmare dreams when Ronnie Garvin comes back, and I'll do anything for that man.
Of course, you're referring to what Pistol Pez Watley said about those pipe dreams that Ronnie
I'm talking about Pez Watley. I'll go anywhere for Ronnie Garvin. I'll walk the deepest canyons. Ronnie Garvin will be back, my friends. He will be back with a vengeance, and I dare anybody to try him. He will be back. Like I said, I don't know about his injuries.
Okay, thank you so much, Crusher. It's been a pleasure talking to you. That's it for International Championship Wrestling. We'll see you next week.